So if you're serious about buying land in Port Harcourt, right, the question you should be asking is not where should I buy, right? The question should be, why does land in some areas grow fast, while other areas stay stagnant for years, right? Because the answer is going to save you from making expensive mistakes. So, and today I'm going to show you exactly what drives land growth using areas right in Port Harcourt as proof. First, there's something you need to understand. And that thing is that land growth is never random, right? It follows a pattern. And that pattern has three drivers, right? So the first driver is infrastructure, right? You have roads, bridges, right? Highway expansions. Now, when the government commits to developing a corridor, right, lands around that corridor moves. It doesn't move immediately, but it moves. So the second driver is proximity to infrastructure, to economic activities, proximity to economic activities like airports, markets, industrial zones, and business districts, right? When the land is where people need to go every day, it has a natural demand ceiling that keeps rising, right? Then the third driver is estate development. Now, when developers start to buy large parcels of land in an area and build organized estates, they validate that location. Then other buyers follow, right? And then prices follow. So let me show you what I mean using two areas you probably know. The first is Omagwa. Now, years ago, people saw it as too far and too remote, right? And too early. But something was happening quietly. The airport was there, right? The expressway was there. And then developers started moving in quietly. New estates started coming up around that corridor. So people that bought in Omagwa, when everyone was saying it was too early and too remote, those people are sitting on an investment that have grown significantly. And then the second area is Igwuruta. Now, Igwuruta has similar story. It has same forces at work, right? Airport proximity, road access, right? And new estate pushing further out. Now, these are not coincidences. These are patterns. Right? And what matters here is that those patterns are showing up in other areas of Port Harcourt right now. The question is, are you paying attention? How do you identify land that will grow before it does? Right? How do you identify land that will grow before it does? Right, so first you look at the three growth drivers I mentioned, right? But specifically look at where two or more of them are converging. So one growth driver alone is interesting, right? Then when you have two growth drivers in a location, that's a signal. When you now have three growth drivers in a location, that location is where you should key into. All right. So ask yourself, is there development coming to this location, or is there already a development there? Right. Also ask, is there an economic activity nearby that creates consistent demand? Right. Are developers already buying into this corridor? These are questions you ask yourself. Now, if the answer to 2 or 3 of this question is yes, then you are looking at a land with real growth potential. But if the answer is none of the above, and the selling point is just that it's cheap, then you have to be careful. Cheap without a growth driver is just cheap. Now, the people who bought in Omagwa and Igwuruta, when it felt too early, they didn't get lucky. They just understood what drives land growth, and then they moved while others were still waiting to be 100% sure. And again, although some lands in areas some land in these areas are still relatively affordable compared to what it will become years from now. Right. So if you're at that point where you're ready to buy, right? You're almost ready to buy, but you want to understand specifically why the land you're looking at has a growth potential, come and talk to me. Right? Let's look at it together. I'll show you exactly what I see and why. Right? So you can send me a message through the link in my bio. Right? Let's have that conversation. See you tomorrow.